It's happy hour again from uptown New Orleans at the lovely Columns Hotel on St. Charles Avenue. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. In the next 60 minutes, you'll get to meet just 6 of the many thousands of fascinating people who live in New Orleans. And you'll get to hear some live music as well. At the end of the show, you might conclude New Orleans is a great city where people love to talk, have fun, and enjoy great music. There's only 5 people? Oh, shit, really? In the next 60 minutes, you'll get to meet just 5 of the many thousands where people love to talk, have fun, and enjoy great music. But you probably know that already, so let's get right on with doing nothing. Well, maybe I was counting myself. Did you ever think about that for a minute, Andrew?
I did not.
Thank you. Anyway, let's get right on with doing nothing but enjoying the next 60 minutes of happy hour together. My special guest sitting around the table here at the Columns Hotel, Craig, tell me how to pronounce it.
Giesecke.
Giesecke. I couldn't remember that.
Just
it's a
Craig.
very...
Craig.
Just Craig. Forget the Giesecke idea.
Right,
okay, I'll just read what it says
That's
here.
fine.
Craig is a chef at Rouse's Supermarket, but nothing in his background would give you a clue as to why. Craig has been a news reporter for AP, a journalist and broadcaster for 30 years before moving to New Orleans. Okay, this is the best sentence I've probably ever read. And starting a smoked cheese business. What? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I smoke cheese.
I smoke cheese. Okay. In 2007, Craig and his wife opened a Janita's restaurant on Magazine Street, uptown, which they closed down about a year ago. Craig writes a regular column about food for the online magazine Uptown Messenger.
Yes.
Craig, that is the best intro I think I've ever... Thank you for ever wrote that.
I wrote
Very
it
nice.
myself. Thank
Very
you very
nice.
much.
You can leave now.
And around here on the other side of the table, Peggy Sweeney McDonald is an ex-Baton Rouge native who lives in Los Angeles. Peggy is both president of Superstar Events LA, where she produces unique red carpet, non-profit and corporate events, and the author of a very New Orleans book, Meanwhile, back at Café Du Monde, a collection of stories about food by notable New Orleanians, including Chef Leah Chase, musician Jeremy Davenport, Chef Matt Murphy, and DJ Davis Rogan, and more. How did DJ Davis Rogan get invited to a swag thing like that? For over 25 years, Peggy has been an actress in film, theater, and commercials, and was most recently associate producer of the acclaimed play addressing human trafficking, Innocent Flesh, at the Zephyr Theater in Hollywood, California. Wow.
Sweet.
This is like,
It went off Broadway.
man, really going off Broadway with the show. This is like Superstar Day here. Leo DeJesus and Andrew Jarman collectively are known as members of a New Zealand band called Vox and the Hound.
Did you just call us a New Zealand band?
We're not in New Zealand.
Did I say New Zealand?
That's okay.
I mean, that sounds.
It says New Orleans right here. Did I really? What
go
sort of
with
a
it.
day am I having here? This is the worst day ever. Okay, Leo is the singer and guitar player, and Andrew is the singer and bass player in Vox and the Hound. Last time you guys were on the show, you were recording an album. That album is called Courage, and it's just out right now. Vox and the Hound are on the road playing it live and promoting it across the country. You can click on the link on our site and see if they're coming to the place near you. If you've never heard Vox and the Hound, stick around. You're in for a very pleasant surprise, and this is a very surprising type album to come out of a band in New Orleans, not New Zealand. One of the ID tags I found on looking for this says Spaghetti Western.
Absolutely.
This
It's,
music is super cool.
Yeah, we definitely got most of the influence from this stuff from the scores of Spaghetti Western film.
It's a really, really great album. So stick around. We get to hear some of it live and some of it recorded. And our happy hour troubadour is here.
Hey!
The fabulous Andrew Duhon, back from wandering the earth, has come back to join us. Have you got a song to play for us today, Andrew?
I can play you a tune.
I'm breaking my neck trying to turn around to see you, on top of everything else. So Andrew, as you know, is our happy hour troubadour who wanders in and out of the show whenever he feels like it, and apparently he felt like it today.
Yeah, I heard there was free gin again.
More free gin, and on piano, the fabulous, charming, talented, and always attractive in his own way, Mitch Foreman. Hi, Mitch. What happened to the piano? Did you just stop playing?
I just ended.
Yeah.
Hey, Mitch. Fabulous, good-looking, talented.
Oh, okay. I wondered what happened. How are you, Mitch? It's been a long time since we've done a show together due to the, I think it's the fault of the Indians or something with that Thanksgiving thing.
I guess so.
Was the Indians
Too
responsible
soon.
for Thanksgiving?
I think they were
Or
irresponsible.
was it the Pilgrims that were responsible for that? I'm from New Zealand, so I don't know anything
Who's
about
to
it.
bless and who's to blame?
It's a joint
Craig, who
effort.
is it? Really?
I don't really know.
It's a food related. Well,
It's the Christians, whatever. Blame
The
it on
Christians did it.
Mhm.
Blame it on
Always blame it on
Jesus.
the
The cheese smokers. Christians and the cheese smokers.
cheese
Blame it on
That
Jesus.
dirty cheese smoker.
Now, we actually have got a cheese smoker here, so before you make any jokes about
Also turkey.
How about
And
a
turkey smoke.
life-size smoked cheese Jesus made out of smoked cheese?
That's
I can
Andrew
do that.
Duhon
Yes.
who said that,
yes.
by the way.
Smoked cheeses, as it were.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
Now you
You got it.
very good.
What a friend
okay,
we
that's
have
funny.
in Jesus.
But Andrew, you've done enough for a day. That's very good. Are you a writer? Do you write songs in the band?
Both of us are.
You both write
He
it?
writes a lot more than I do.
But that was a funny line. You could use that.
I will, actually.
Okay. Smoked cheeses.
Smoked.
Jesus.
Adi.
So, Craig,
Yes.
what gave you the idea to move to New Orleans and open a smoked cheese business?
I had
I'm sure
started-
everybody asks you that, right?
I had started this business on the side back in about 2000.
What were you doing? You were a writer up to
I
that.
was working for the Associated Press in Florida and started smoking this cheese in my backyard on a barbecue trailer, and it was an accident, and I thought,
Okay. Who wants to ask the first question? Just based
I
on
just
that
want to know
segment?
would Swiss cheese be considered ultralight because of all the holes?
It actually is one of the greasiest cheeses you could ever hope to smoke.
Really? What
Yeah.
about
I hope
Gouda?
no
That's-
Swiss cheeses
I've
are
had
listening.
smoked Gouda before. That's like standard, right?
Our biggest seller was
Have you-
a smoked Havarti,
I love
which is
Havarti.
very good.
I applaud.
Yeah, but come on, let's just go back a step here. Okay, so far we've got the word Florida, trailer, and smoking cheese.
Right.
Yes,
Okay, so let's just take one of those at a time. What part of Florida are we in here?
North Florida.
So it was a meth lab first.
Practically. No, it was
North Florida. What does that mean? Where is it?
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee,
About
Florida.
a half an hour south of the Georgia line.
Now, where's
and
your accent from? Because you've got a very southern accent.
I was raised in Texas.
Oh, you're from Texas.
Houston,
I hate to admit
Dallas,
that. No.
Austin,
But
Is your
no.
accent from
raised
Texas?
in Dallas?
Dallas.
Right.
Is that a Dallas
I lived
accent,
in
Peggy?
Houston. I lived in Houston for 7 years.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
I know. Well, we had Papacitas.
Oh well, that's true. We
right?
have
The
those in
best
Dallas.
Mexican-
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came to Dallas after it opened in Houston.
Now,
No,
what
I
kind of?
started-
You have this sort of charming Southern Belle accent. Where's that from?
I'm originally from Baton Rouge.
Well,
I was
that-
born in Alabama, but was raised in Baton Rouge. But I've been gone from Baton Rouge for like 30 years or
Congrats.
a little more.
What part of Alabama?
Well done.
I was born in Birmingham, but my parents were from New Orleans, and I was raised in Baton Rouge. And then I graduated from LSU, went to Houston, went to New York, went to New Orleans here for 6 years, and I've been in LA for 15. So don't try to figure out how old I am.
We've just figured it out.
I'm
Got
We
it.
can all do math.
Yeah, we all just figured
But
it out.
say the magic words.
A gentleman never. asked.
Beautiful.
I don't look that old.
No, you look fabulous. I can't believe you're really 73. That's amazing. You look terrific,
No,
Peggy.
I know.
Yeah, really.
Taking all those geriatric
Okay, so back to the
vitamins.
trailer. You lived in a trailer in Tallahassee.
No. I
Did you
had
say
a
the
barbecue
word-
trailer.
A barbecue trailer.
And
I'm
so
sorry.
I started to smoke this cheese and handing it out.
Okay, why would
over
you
the
start to
holidays.
smoke cheese?
I've always liked smoked cheese.
Okay.
You know, smoked Gouda, smoked things you get from
Yeah.
Hickory Farm
Right.
while you're growing up
So you
and
think,
things
why
like
not
that.
smoke my own cheese? Who here has not thought that, right?
Right.
At some point, why not smoke my own cheese?
Why not?
Andrew Duhon.
Yep.
Me.
Yeah, I mean,
Leo.
put
you-
it
I've
in your
I've
pipe
never-
and smoke it.
I've never possessed my own cheese though, so
Well, you've gone to the store and bought a block of cheese, haven't
no,
you?
you don't know that.
Okay, you've never been to the store and bought
I
a
got,
block
I got
of
a
cheese?
question though. Is
Maybe
there
it's-
like a prep process for cheese? Is it going to melt in there if you don't prep
Yes,
it a certain way?
I have accidentally made a lot of fondue.
Right. Yeah.
How do you keep it from melting?
You have to
Sweet.
watch the temperature very carefully, and
So
I
is it
have
cold smoke?
It is cold smoked.
I can't believe
About
it.
100
I was
Ah,
teasing.
140, 150
Peggy,
degrees.
thank you for
Cold
asking that.
smoke.
What does cold smoke mean?
140, 150 degrees, something where.
That's still hot.
Not if you watch it and keep it in just like 30 minutes. And it depends on the cheese as well. Havarti's a soft cheese. It's going to melt in a big hurry. We did Asiago, which is a very hard cheese, which
What about brie? That would not happen, right?
brie wouldn't happen, but blue cheese smokes very well. It's ugly as hell when you get it done.
Right.
It's hard to package, but it
It's ugly
tastes
when you start.
absolutely beautiful.
I have a question. What's the most beautiful cheese?
The most beautiful cheese?
Yes.
In the
I want to
world.
know what the most beautiful cheese is. From a smoked cheese expert.
Beautiful in what way?
You said there's an ugly cheese, so I want to know what the most beautiful cheese is.
I would say probably the Havarti.
Okay.
Because it
beautiful
gets a
cheese.
nice little golden tone to it.
What's that cheese that's a little bit more foolproof on the grill? Like it's the grillable cheese.
Okay,
you
you've
know what I'm
grilled
talking
cheese
about?
too, then, have you?
Halloumi.
Halloumi,
I've done
yeah.
that.
That stuff's fun.
It's from
Love that
Crete.
stuff. Yeah.
You
yeah.
can grill it.
Okay,
That's great
It's
stuff.
very good stuff.
And-
Only
Andrew-
recently have I been turned on to this stuff. It's
so
great.
Andrew Duhon, you've been grilling your own cheese,
I'm a bit of a
smoking it, or grilling
yeah.
it.
He's
I
a
like to
foodie.
cook
He's
a
a
little bit.
foodie.
Yeah, foodie's the word.
Well, what about that jalapeno? What is the pepper jack cheese?
We smoked the
bet that
pepper
would be
jack,
good.
and we also smoked a habanero cheese, which sold very well at Langenstein's uptown.
What about aged Gouda?
This is an insane conversation. We're going to go through every type of cheese in the world until we've exhausted all of them.
age
So I get to American.
You have a couple of foodies here, Grant.
What
We're gonna
about
talk food.
craft singles?
A very quick process.
Okay, so you smoke it, use different types of smoke, I suppose.
No, we always used oak because it's a very gentle flavor.
What
But-
about pecan?
Pecan would add
Now
a
every type
little
of
much.
now every type of wood. Go.
Pecan, mesquite,
Maple.
cherry, your fruit woods and things
Walnut.
like that are a little
larch.
strong. Smoke is all you
Elm.
taste.
Pine.
Oh, yeah.
Redwood.
Poplar tree.
Good treated 2x4.
No,
Elm.
Yellow wood.
Yellowwood, okay.
Yellowwood.
We've got to weigh.
Yellow brick? Yellow brick.
So, okay, Craig, what gave you the idea? That's what I'm interested in. What made you think one day? Was it pot smoking or what?
I was trying to get a brisket going on the trailer, okay? And the wood wouldn't fire. And so I went inside to get a beer and saw a block of cheddar cheese. I saw a block of cheddar in the refrigerator. And so what I did is decided, hey, I've always liked smoked cheese, so I threw this on the back of the smoker, right?
Yes.
And
Little
it turned
smoker.
out very, very well. And I started smoking all the cheese I could get my hands on, all the different types. And after about a month of handing this out to friends across the holidays, this was late in the year, right?
Did you wrap it in a little red
Yeah.
cellophane and make it cute?
I got a call from the Florida Restaurant Association that says
Cease and desist.
We want we have a member who wants to buy your cheese. And I thought, well, you can't buy it because it's not commercially produced in a safe
Right.
environment or anything like that. And so I decided.
Were you wearing like anything on your hair at the time?
Oh yeah, yes. Mhm.
Like a hairnet?
Well, no, but a
Beanie.
cap,
Baseball cap.
usual
Okay.
baseball.
So
cap.
you took some precautions.
Right.
Did
So
you wash your hands before you prepared the cheese?
sometimes.
Okay, anyway, so sorry, I won't ask any more stupid questions. So the Florida Restaurant Association called you. Why wouldn't just the restaurant itself call you and say, hey, dude,
One
what
of the
about-
restaurants had heard I'd been smoking this cheese and they wanted to use it.
They can't make
and
their own phone calls, restaurants, so they have to call the food
They didn't know who
association.
it was.
Ah.
See. And so
Right,
I
with a
decided
barbecue
I'd
trailer.
smoke this stuff.
Why did you have a
but-
trailer anyway? Why didn't you just have a barbecue on your backyard like
Because
that?
it's fun.
But you take it around places? You tow it around?
No.
In case he
it-
loses the house.
I can
bet you
always
get
earn
the
a
You can
chips
always
if
live in
you
your
tow
truck.
it
Always
around.
live in your barbecue. Yeah.
And
Okay.
so
So
the
the
thing I
restaurant
did
called. Yeah.
is I investigated the cost of building my own commercial smoking operation, and it was much less than I thought. And so in space of a year, I was selling this cheese from Jacksonville, Florida to Houston.
Wow. How
That's
did
a
you market
success
it?
story. Yeah, good question, Peggy. How
it
did you
was
market it?
on the weekends. I would have to go to New Orleans, or I would have to go down to St. Augustine or Cedar Key or wherever it happened to be, Mobile, and sell this stuff and do all the demos and things like that. And we'd produce it during the week.
What
And
sort of car were you driving then?
I had a pickup truck at the time. And so we would load the truck full and we'd drive here. I
Do you
was
have
here.
a cooler or anything? How do you keep the cheese?
I had a couple of electric coolers, and I had a big igloo cooler.
That's a pretty big operation now. You're getting sort of serious.
Yeah.
And you're still
yeah.
writing. You're a journalist at this point.
Yeah.
You're writing for the AP. What are you writing about?
Cheese running.
Being the broadcast editor, I wrote about everything, sports, politics.
What do you mean the broadcast editor? You're working in radio?
Every radio and TV station has a wire machine, and that's where they get a lot of their news. I was in charge of all of the news on those wire machines in the state of Florida.
That's a pretty big job.
And I also did some food and travel writing on the
Right.
side for the AP because I had a sailboat, and so I was.
Jeez, you're living large there.
You're like a Bruce
bad.
Wayne of cheese.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty
So that's
interesting.
how I got it
okay.
started.
So
And-
you're the guy when you work on a radio station. You have basically out in the hallway somewhere. There's a machine that spits out this
Right.
news that comes out all the time, and
Right.
you were the guy who spat the news in the other end before.
I was the guy to bless or blame, right?
Bless or blame. Okay,
And
that's
so-
a pretty impressive sort of a job. You're actually the person who decide. You're the gatekeeper deciding what's going to be reported. Basically.
Exactly. Right. And so I did that until 2004 when my first wife and I split, and I had a choice. I could stay with the AP or I could go full-time with the cheese. So I decided to move to New Orleans in 2004.
That really totally makes sense. You got divorced.
I had a
and
cheese
you decided
company.
on cheese instead of your.
cheese
Did you
smoking
decide between
began.
cheese and your wife?
Well,
Have a new
Did she
girlfriend?
say it's either the cheese or me?
no, I wound up with the sailboat and this cheese business.
And what did she get? She got the house on the Mercedes.
crackers.
She got the
see.
crackers.
She got the house. She got the beach place. She
God
got
Almighty! You had a beach place.
yeah.
Who are you?
I would have married you by now. You've
And you
got
worked
the
for
trailer.
the AP, and you
Right.
had a house on the beach.
Well,
and a boat.
my wife had her own career that was very successful.
What did she do?
What'd she
Bank
do?
robbing.
She was
Stripper.
She was
Come
no.
on, Peggy. Why would you jump to
Damn,
that
Peggy,
conclusion?
God
That is so sexist.
Man,
That is.
She
Just
would love
because
that
he's
comment.
handsome.
We get along very well. We
Low
really
blow,
do.
no pun intended.
And
Clearly not that one.
I'm going to get along well with you too if you still got the beach house on the boat.
And
no,
the
I don't.
stripper
And the
ex-girlfriend.
stripper ex-girlfriend. No,
Had to get
Peggy,
rid of
that's
those.
Not funny. Okay, so what was her career that she did? That was
Well, let's see. She started out in a radio newsroom just like I did, but she wound up being the chief spokesperson for the Democratic Party in Florida, and she was spokesperson for Florida tourism.
Wow.
For a while, she wrote some speeches for Bill Clinton. So
Did she write the famous line? I did not have sexual relations.
No, she had nothing to do with that. But she had her own career, so between the two of us, so we did okay.
No kidding. Wow. You were like a power couple.
We were.
What went so wrong? Why did you split up?
Well, I left,
Really?
right?
Jesus.
You chose the cheese.
No, cheeses.
Jesus Christ. Thank you.
That's
Wow.
pretty cheesy.
Wow.
What
okay.
a friend we have.
What a friend we have in cheeses. Have
right.
you heard all these before?
Oh, yes, I have.
I'm sorry.
This is really old.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, we'll come up with something new. Okay, listen, let's just move along one step at a time here. Boys from Vox and the Hound, one of New Zealand's greatest bands, right?
Definitely.
I want you guys to hear some music from Vox and the Hound. Andrew Duhon, are you familiar with these guys?
yeah, I am.
How do you,
Never
and
heard of them.
Peggy, wait
Thanks,
till you
Peggy.
hear this.
You couldn't just lie about it.
You live What are you, like 12?
I am 12 years old.
Have you ever seen Peggy's book?
No.
Okay, here's your chance to
It's
get
by
your
my
own
bed.
band.
I
It's
won't.
on my nightstand.
So I want you to play something because I want everyone to hear this. We're going to try and pack a bit of music into the show today. I want to hear this, and I want to play a recorded song off the record as well.
Oh, you do? Okay.
And I want Andrew to play as well, and Mitch is going to play. So we're going to pack, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about still. So we haven't even got onto the book, Peggy.
And I'm the only girl here.
You're the only
so
girl
you have
here.
to give me some time.
Okay, there's plenty of time. We've got miles to go.
We need to talk more food, right?
So,
Yeah, let's talk food.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And
we'll
bars.
Get back to food.
Okay, well, while you're looking, Andrew, what have you lost in the bag?
He's looking for an egg shaker. Speaking of food, he's looking for an egg shaker.
Man, nice
An
jam
egg shaker,
sport,
okay.
man.
So tell us a little
Solid
bit about the
jam
record
sport.
because you've been making this for a couple of years now.
Well, yeah, technically, I mean, we've been writing it for a couple of years. We recorded it back in February, so we've been working on this release for exactly 9 months now, and we are happy with the results we've gotten from both the record and the promotion of it. So, I don't know. We're hoping it'll be a success.
It deserves.
Because we
to be.
like it.
It deserves to be a success. It's an extraordinarily great album. Have you heard it, Andrew?
I have not heard the record, no.
It's shockingly good.
Well, it's releasing tomorrow, so.
Well,
Right.
today or
Well,
now
When's
or
the-
yesterday.
When is the CD release?
The CD release is actually, as you're listening to this, it's released because.
I mean, the party. Like, when's the show?
It's
Tonight.
It's November 30th.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Which
Sweet.
Is
So
tomorrow.
we're recording this on the 29th, are we? Is that
Where's the
today?
party?
Today's the 29th.
Okay.
So if
gotcha.
you're hearing this on Friday, which is possible, you can hear this the day after. In fact, tonight you'll be able to hear it. So
Tomorrow.
if you're listening to this on Friday, the 30th of November, the party is at.
House of Blues Parish Room.
Okay.
Nice.
Doors are at 9. First man starts at 10.
Is it free?
It is not. It's $10 a ticket.
Okay.
No, it's not free.
It's not. It's cheap. It's cheap for the House of Blues.
Oh, that's
but-
cheap. Yeah, that is cheap.
I don't know.
Gotta love the
Okay,
House
so
of
what
Blues.
do you
That's where
wanna-
my first show was here in New Orleans.
Really?
House of Blues.
What were you doing?
A book show?
Tap dancing?
Meanwhile, back at Cafe Du Monde,
Ah.
It was a live show before it was a book.
And soon to be a musical.
Were there,
And
Were there any
a
strippers?
TV show and a movie and a documentary.
Strippers.
Wow. Okay, let's get on to that.
No, my
And a
wife
Broadway
was not
show.
there.
Let's come back and talk about Meanwhile Back at Cafe Du Monde. But first of all, Courage is the name of the album.
Courage is the name of the album. For no particular reason, no.
Yeah, why did you call that? I noticed
Well,
that.
as we said before, it derived a lot of influence from the spaghetti western films. And if you've watched any spaghetti western film, you've almost watched them all. And it's always about this guy who comes in and finds the courage to do what's necessary, even though it's not necessarily his deal to deal with. all
But
the
nobody
time.
talks.
But nobody talks. It's all just
It's all in the eye.
Implied courage.
We thought about calling it, but nobody would remember that.
What song are
Yes.
you going to play?
We're going to play a song called Fake It. Andrew wrote this one, and it's kind of turned into our little acoustic jam whenever someone asks for that. Jam.
Okay.
And toast. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. My saving grace, she has this face my eyes have yet to see. My heart will go, I know my eyes will snow. Once again, I'll be swept off my feet. And maybe, I think to myself, my heart isn't ready yet. See, my last saving grace, she ran out of this place with her hand swinging over her head. Oh no. So I go to Jesus, I said, Jesus, can you tell me what? Can you tell me what is best for me? Said I couldn't tell you, son, you must be crazy or something. I've been dead since the first century.
That's nice.
We're going
Oh,
to stop
that was
now
great.
because of the
That was-
guitars.
What
out of
happened to the
tune.
guitar? I don't know. That was one of the great lyrics of all time, Mr. Duhan, wasn't it? You
I
agree?
dug it. Yeah, that was great.
That was very funny.
Who are your influences? I hear a lot of Guy Clark. I hear some Billy Joe Shaver. I hear some Steve Frumholtz in there.
I don't know if I've ever heard of any of those guys.
I have no idea who
Steve
you're talking
Frumholtz,
about.
didn't he wasn't he in Mad Magazine?
No,
that was someone else.
it
You want to keep going? You want to finish it? Or is it really badly?
It's
What
kind of
happened?
bluegrassy, right?
Bluegrass.
being a Texas boy,
Kind of, right?
I would know these things.
Would you call that bluegrass?
I think you got to hear him plugged in. You know, you would think different influences if you heard him plugged in.
Very
what about
possible.
Oh
This is
Brother?
very
and-
possible.
Where out
and
there?
this is super
Doesn't that
cool.
kinda remind you of
This is super
The
cool because this is the
score
first
from
time
a
that I
film.
get to hear you guys not plugged in. This is fun.
Yeah.
They're
It would be slightly more fun if
If the guitar was tuned, yeah.
Yeah. This is for any listeners. This is one of the shittiest guitars I've ever had the pleasure to play.
What is it? Just in case anyone wants to buy one like that.
I believe
It's
called
$150.
It's
It's a shitoscraster.
it's a Delore. I don't know.
Oh, why
I'm
did
pretty
you?
sure that
Why
I
do you
made
still own it? Then?
Why did you bring it today?
It's the only one I have.
it. Yeah. Peggy, you are a critic.
Oh, look, I got it.
Cool.
Okay.
Where are we coming from?
Where were we?
You wanna just- I couldn't tell you, son.
Yeah. Sure.
Right. Said I couldn't tell you, son. You must be crazy or something. I've been dead since the first century. Oh, times they've changed, people have changed. Son, you'll change some too. He said, go out and have some fun. Said, I don't know if I can have some fun. He said, just fake it through.
I go to Jesus. I said, Jesus, can you tell me what? Can you tell me what is best for me? Can you tell me what is best for me? Can you tell me what is best for me? Can you tell me what is best for me?
Delightful.
That's
My
nice,
goodness.
guys.
Love it.
That is amazing.
How long have you
That is-
been singing together?
2 years.
Will you be
Terrific.
appearing in Austin?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, soon.
We're playing in Austin at the Castle on December 7th.
This will go over particularly well in Austin.
We've had good times in Austin. Texas in general seems to like us.
I couldn't imagine a city in America or anywhere in the world that wouldn't like that, frankly. Tell you the truth. That's just good music.
You
Isn't
are
it?
the cutest
Yeah.
thing.
That's like
Oh,
smoked
come on.
Havarti.
I'm cuter than Smoked Havarti. Isn't that right, Andrew?
I
Come
agree.
on,
I think
it's
there's
awesome.
nothing more undeniably universally accepted than great harmonies, and you guys got that going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And we'll listen to something off the record as well. This show is going to be about 4 hours long by the time we get through all the subjects we have to get to. The album is called, even if you've had enough right now and you're leaving us, the album is called Courage, and it's available wherever good downloads are sold, I suppose, is it?
Absolutely. Spotify, iTunes, our website.
Do you get paid if we listen to it on Spotify?
I've heard a recent. I've heard a recent thing. We actually do get paid.
Sweet
It takes
update.
20
It
years.
takes about It takes 6 million listens to equal one album sale.
Almost there.
Oh my God!
Baby steps.
Okay, so I know. Are you? Is that a
Wow,
joke
that's
or is that?
crazy.
Is that?
That
how-
is absolutely true.
Okay,
It's-
so
I
why-
don't know the exact number.
Okay,
but it's
so
about
why
6 million.
wouldn't you just listen to it yourself?
6
6 million times. I mean, how?
Who's got the time?
Couldn't you?
For one record sale?
Who's got
No,
the
but
time?
for one, but that's
What's the
for 6 million listens, you get like $8,
10, I believe. Yeah,
$10 for 6 million listens.
6 million.
Who
listens.
negotiated that for the musicians?
Clearly not anybody on our side.
No.
Wait,
You're
6
getting
million, you
fucked.
get $6?
You get $10 for 6 million listens. That's almost impossible to
It
believe.
is. I find it very difficult to believe.
But I wonder if a
But it's
listen
basically radio. I mean,
does
what
a
do you
listen
get paid for radio?
Yeah, what do you get paid for a spin on
Not
radio?
much.
Not that much either. Actually.
Or book sales.
Or book sales. What do you get when you sell a book?
More than that.
I
for
have
sure.
no
I think
idea.
I would
won't
say
I'm
it's more
so
than that.
green to this book
Peggy,
business.
thank you for bringing up the
Hello.
book. Because
What do you get when you sell 6 million books? $10?
Yeah, really.
And people wonder why I left journalism.
Is that why? You had the boat and the house by the beach and the successful, good-looking wife. Was she good-looking
You
as
left-
well on top
Yes,
of everything?
yes.
Yes, I can't understand what went so
In
wrong.
fact, she is better looking now than she was the day I married her.
Since she
That's
left
a
you.
shame.
She looks better because she's not standing next to you. That's why, right?
She's over there and I'm over here.
Wow, what a strange story. Anyway, Peggy, let's get on to you, shall we? Let's
Yes,
get on to this
please.
book.
It's
the book is
always about me,
It's
Grant.
all about you. The book is called Meanwhile Back at Cafe Du Monde. It's a big coffee
Dot,
table.
dot. Don't
dot,
forget the
dot. I'm
dots.
sorry.
Meanwhile,
That's-
back at Cafe
What's
Du
that
Why
Monde.
don't you
dot,
say
dot,
the
dot.
word ellipsis instead of dot, dot, dot?
Because I like the dot, dot, dot.
Do you actually say dot, dot, dot?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Do you use other punctuation?
Meanwhile, back at
Question
Cafe
mark?
Du Monde, dot, dot, dot.
Meanwhile, back
Life,
at Cafe
life
Du
stories
Monde.
about food. So it was, I was an actress turned event producer, and when the economy crashed, I was back for
In
Thanksgiving.
1929?
Shut up. 3 years ago. They're bad. They're bad. Okay, good.
That's
Well, they
Grant
know
has to
something
be able
about
to-
history, at least.
Well, actually, it's been hitting the Amazon food and wine history.
Wait, I
columns.
just want to know which crash are you talking about?
3 years ago.
Oh, there. Okay.
When
2009.
things,
That was
business,
4
all the
years ago.
corporate meeting
4
events
years ago.
went away.
Oh, yes.
And I was home crying to my mother that I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And my girlfriend came down. She was doing a movie in Shreveport, and she came down to Baton Rouge and stood in my mom's kitchen and told me the coconut pie and a bottle of wine story in here, in this book. And I said, tell my mom, tell my cousin, tell my niece. And I said, this is like the vagina monologues, but food stories. And so I created my own event, and I couldn't rent a
I'm
theater.
just going to leave that alone right,
Right.
I was waiting for the
I'm
first
just
person to
gonna
make
leave
a
that-
comment, but nobody.
now. That comment is just
My only comment was wordless.
a large,
You all
slow-moving
got
target.
really
Can't Google that.
quiet. Yeah, it's interesting, especially me being the only female here. Well, so I.
The only vagina at the table.
That's right. So, I decided to create my own event. And since it was about food, I thought I'd do it at restaurants because you got to eat and drink. So I found restaurants that wanted
So what is the
business.
event? Was the event is
so
people
the
talking
event,
about
you
food?
come, it's like a reality dinner theater is what I call it. I'd invite 8 to 10 people to be headliners and share a 5 to 7 minute life story about food. I'd have an MC. First show here in New Orleans. It started in in Baton Rouge, outside of Baton Rouge, the Myrtles Plantation. And then I did one.
That's in St. Francisville.
And then I
Is
and
that
I did one
haunted?
in Baton Rouge. I think so, but my girlfriend owns it, and she said, you could do it here. We could do a cocktail party on the patio, and we could clear out the antiques and do it inside for 60 people. So that was the first show. And then the first
Clear out
New
the
Orleans show was at House of Blues. And the first
Okay.
New Orleans show had Miss Leah Chase, Jeremy Davenport, Matt Murphy, Davis Rogan,
Okay.
Jean
So-
Vadrine.
So
lots of
people
great
get up
people.
and they tell a story about. What kind of a story?
Well, first you come up, and the MC would bring you up, and we introduce everybody. If you were a food, what would you be and why?
If you were a food, what would you be and why?
I would be. I say I would be gourmet chocolate. I come in a gold box. It's shiny with the ribbon on top. Sometimes I'm sweet, sometimes I'm bitter, sometimes nutty, or a tasty combination, but always a treat.
I feel like you have that.
Wow,
memorized.
yeah,
I
you've
do.
got.
I've done
it's
it
an
a lot.
unfair advantage.
for
I've been on the
Hussing's
book. I've been
allowed.
on the book tour. I've told that story
One
a
of the
lot.
great bullshitters of our time, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you ever change it up and say something else, like I'd like to be a rotten fish or something like that?
No, I don't, because
Banana?
I like
Who
to
said
be.
that? Who
I
said
like being
banana?
a gourmet chocolate. What would you be, Grant?
What would I be if I was a food? I don't know. That's a good question. Probably.
Smoked blue cheese.
Yes. Thank you, Leo.
Delicious but ugly
It's
as
interesting.
hell.
I noticed that your name is DeJesus as well, and the song's about Jesus.
I wrote it. He wrote it.
Yeah, but there was not. That was just.
It's actually
the real-
it's about cheeses.
Jesus.
That's right.
I've been dead since the first.
Y'all just
century.
aren't going to
That's
leave this
Jesus.
alone, are you?
Is there a cheese story in the book? There's 67 stories, it says. in this book.
67. So, you know what? Let me tell you what. This is funny. Jeremy Davenport was in the show, and so he said he would be, when I was gathering all the material for the book, he said he wanted to be a Twinkie, sweet and nasty. And I said, we can't use Twinkie. I don't want to be sued by Hostess. So I made him. So we changed it to a cream donut. And this week, guess what happened?
Twinkie
No
goes
more
out of
Twinkies.
business.
So it could have been
Hostess.
Twinkie. But so anyway, people would come and share these stories, and
They're back, by the
I
way.
say that it snowballed. It
They're
got
back?
bigger.
Twinkies are
and
back?
They're back. It got bigger and sweeter. I say the beignet got bigger and sweeter. We did 32 shows from Louisiana, Mississippi, and California, where I live now. And I got a book deal to do
So
a
this has
coffee
got
table
nothing
book.
to do with Cafe Du Monde at all.
Actually,
so far I haven't
no.
heard the words
I
Cafe
called
Du Monde.
Cafe Du Monde and I said I have this idea, and the working title. This is Meanwhile Back at Cafe Du Monde is my story, and it's all about no matter where I live, no matter what's going on in my life, I always end up back at Cafe Du Monde, taking life one beignet at a time. And I say, you know what you're ordering, you know it's open, you know you can afford it, you know it's delicious, and you know you're with good friends and family, and for that hour, life is really wonderful. And really,
God, you should be working for Cafe Du Monde at this
well,
point. Are you?
they actually they wrote the foreword. Karen Benrud from the family wrote the foreword, and they gave me their history and vintage pictures because it's their 150th anniversary this year,
You've got
which
their
is
green.
so
You've got
perfect.
the green and white awning on the top of your book.
Yes, and
It's got the
beignets.
great big words Cafe Du Monde on here. I mean, it's like an advertisement.
In
Well-
the right font.
Yeah,
It's
it
even-
is in the right fight. Well, the thing is, what's been great about, I say it's a metaphor. Well, my husband said that one night. It's really a metaphor. Everybody has a Cafe Du Monde. You probably have your favorite Cafe Du Monde in Tallahassee, right?
No.
Yeah.
There's nothing good in Tallahassee.
Whataburger.
Whataburger. Well,
Any Whataburger on the highway
I
is my
think
spot.
Everybody has a place that when
Right.
they go back to their hometown, they have to go eat there. It's their
Do you,
place.
do you
So
really
it's-
think that Cafe Du Monde has got the greatest food in New Orleans? That that's the place that you
No, but
that
it's
you
just like
think about?
when you go. Well, no matter where I live, and I've lived all over, I always
Honey?
end up back there.
It's a culinary icon.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be a special occasion because it's cheap, but every time you go, it just happens to be because it's.
And you're
'Cause you're
usually
surrounded
talking
by
about
drunk people.
Because you're
food.
drunk,
Touchstone.
basically, or you're from
You know,
Iowa.
And you can
So
go at any
wasted.
time, and you're you're going to have fun for that. You're going to eat beignets and drink great coffee. And
You'll feel
listen
special.
to music, and you're going to have a good time. So that was kind of the premise. But
Okay.
now I am in the book world, and it's bizarre.
So
It's
you've
bizarre.
never been an author or on a book tour like this before. You've been an actress.
No, and I put together. I was really
You're a
naive.
producer.
I got this book deal, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do this coffee table book." Woo! And then, they sent. I signed the contract with Pelican Publishing, and then they sent me this,
Actual
link
Pelican.
saying, "Here's how you have to submit your material." And I freaked. I thought I was going to throw up when I read it because, oh
Did you
my
really
God.
think you're going to throw up?
I panicked. I said, how can I do this? I don't know what the frick I'm doing. I mean, I've never done this. Oh, my God. Indexing and
Oh, there was a
pictures
list
had
of
to
things
be
that you-
DPI and this big. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. And I freaked. And my husband said, you just take it a day at a time.
What does
Tell
your
him you don't
husband
know
do?
what
Is he in the
he's a
publishing-
stockbroker. He's a New Yorker.
Oh, he's no fun at all.
Yeah, well, I dragged his butt down here from New York. He came kicking and screaming. And then he loved New Orleans. And then I decided I needed to move to LA. And he's like, you're out of your mind. Go by yourself. And so I was out there for a year. And
Leave
then
me.
finally he came. Finally he moved there. And so we've been there. But I came back and started the show here because I had the idea when I was here.
Yes.
And then I started it here. So now where would you start a book tour for a book like this?
So this is you at the very beginning of the book tour.
Well, it
That's why you're
it
slumming
launched
it on this
September
show.
21st. So I'm still on I'm going to Natchez and Jackson tomorrow, and I just did the literary words and music, the Faulkner
So you haven't
Society.
been doing this long enough to be asked the same stupid questions all the time. You're not sick of it
I'm
yet.
really new. Like
Right.
I'm green. Like I go to other
Right.
writers at this like literary
Andrew, you
conference
wanted
and
to-
say, teach me, because I don't really know what I'm doing,
But
but I'm having a blast.
It seems to me that there's something to be said for being a dumbass in a new industry
Oh, absolutely.
because you learn so much and
A novice
you
would have been
see
a
it
better
with
word.
a whole new eye and
He's a
it's a whole
journalist.
new world. The same thing happened to me with going from journalism to the food industry. You just Jesus.
and now you're a chef. I don't-
well
right?
He's
on
a cheese
paper, but
smoker. Turkey smoker.
but still, you go. I'm still learning so much, so you can't get too full of yourself.
Well,
And-
my husband and my mother would probably beg to differ.
They think
And
you've
some
got
of my friends, I
would imagine-
I can be a bit, my web designer calls me Diva
That's
Delicious. He thinks
Diva
I'm
Delicious,
Diva
that's a good name.
Delicious.
That's a
He's
good
like,
name
it's
for a
Diva
stripper.
Delicious. It's true. Right? Well,
Wait, were you guys
know.
married?
things don't work out.
Is that why you said stripper so quick? It all comes
Hey,
together
listen.
now.
Yeah. So anyway, you should be in my show. You're a cheesemaker. We don't have any big cheese stories.
Well, let's
in
go
there,
to the
so
cheesemakers. Is that where
The
we're
You
next-
going?
can change that in
The
your
next
book.
book. Oh, yeah, absolutely. There'll be another edition soon, I'm sure.
Really? You're going to have a second edition?
Well, I've done a bunch of shows in California. So the next book would be, I would think, the California monologues.
What about a booze
Meanwhile,
one?
back at In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
Hey,
a
protein
what,
style,
what about an
right?
alcohol one? Meanwhile, back at the
Pat O'Brien.
Well, yeah. Or you could do one about everyone's got
could,
drug
you
stories.
could.
You know,
Meanwhile,
everyone's-
back at the gutter.
Meanwhile, back at my drug dealers.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back in the back room, everyone's got a story about those horror stories about that night they took too many drugs and this happened and that happened. And I woke up somewhere. You could do that.
I would read that
Well,
book.
you
That'd be a
know,
great book.
Yeah, I'd totally check that out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Well, I
back
mean,
in someone
from the
else's who I
library.
don't know's bathroom.
There's so many. Meanwhile,
But
back
not
at
too long.
Valentine's
You know the
Day.
fees.
Think of the stories for that.
What's that?
Meanwhile, back at Mardi Gras. I mean, there
Dot,
you could
dot,
go
dot.
on and on. Dot,
Yeah.
dot, dot. You
Dot,
know.
dot, dot.
Ellipsis, if you will.
Ellipsis.
Ellipsis. Or also works. That also works.
Period. Hey, listen, I'm going to get Mitch Foreman to play a song next, and then we're going to come back and have Andrew Duhon play his new song. So we've got a lot to do. And then what do we have to talk about after that? Anything?
The book.
The book. Oh, yeah.
Our
It's
sex
always
lives.
about me, Grant.
Sex lives. Oh, that's interesting. You have an interesting sex life, Andrew John?
No.
Well, if this
I'm
works,
sick of hearing about it, so if we're going to talk about that, I'm leaving.
We drove back from Baton Rouge together, and our
it's only 90 minutes.
19 minutes?
90, isn't it?
90, yes.
Yeah.
90 is closer.
To Baton Rouge.
It feels
an hour
longer
and
when
15
someone's
minutes.
telling you stories about
Are
their
you-
sex
you
life,
live
I
in
would
New Orleans?
imagine.
I mean, Baton Rouge.
No, we played in Baton Rouge last night.
Oh,
anyway,
where'd you play?
Where at?
where did we play? We played at the Varsity.
Fun.
It was the shittiest showcase, by the way.
Really? What was wrong?
near LSU?
Yeah,
I
I don't-
graduated.
What
from
was
LSU.
wrong with
Love
it?
LSU.
It was something called an. I didn't know what the showcase was. It was called RLR Showcase. I don't know what the acronym was standing for.
What did it end up being?
We were opening, which is fine. I don't care about that. But
Puppet show?
the three bands afterwards were puppets. No, they were. It's crazy. They were screamo bands. I don't know if you know what screamo is. That was rough.
What
It's
is
just
that?
Not, it's not like us.
Not very much like
They
us.
scream.
They scream a lot.
And they mow.
And
Well, that's interesting. So it was a strange lineup.
Yeah.
it
Which
was
you didn't fit in.
which we did not fit.
So
in.
people thought you were just waste of time losers, and
Yeah.
they didn't want to hear that
Which
crap.
they were right, but
Which
we didn't
they-
want to hear that.
Absolutely true. We're
How
musicians.
interesting. Well, that was a bad piece of booking by somebody there at the Varsity.
That's our drummer.
No, that
Okay.
was Austin, I think.
Mitch Foreman,
Yes, sir.
after that kind of an introduction, what are you thinking of playing today?
I'm trying to think of something that fits with cheese and ellipses and
Yeah, something to do with
Beignets.
punctuation and
Maybe
dairy
courage.
products.
what was that?
Dairy products, courage, and punctuation.
The courage to make punctuated dairy
Well,
products.
so I do have the courage to play an old song written by Herbie Hancock. It's called "Driftin'."
Okay.
With an apostrophe. Yeah, what is that? That's an
Ellipsis.
apostrophe. Driftin'.
Oh, with the G missing, so there's an apostrophe where the G should be.
Exactly.
There we are.
By Herbie Hancock.
dot.
By Herbie Hancock.
Dot, dot, dot.
Drifting.
Yes. Drifting.
Hurrah! Hurrah!
Very nice. Now, have you ever played that in Herbie Hancock's presence, Mitch?
No. I don't think I think it was off his first record back in a long time ago. He's probably never played it in his presence.
Where is Mitch?
Mitch is in another world, another
dimension.
universe.
How many times, Peggy? Another
Still
dimension.
asking, like, is he in another-
Everybody wants to know where Mitch is. We haven't got room for a grand piano in this little tiny room here, so we have to shove him next door.
Is he in this building?
Is he in this building? You've only got 5 more questions. I wouldn't blow it on a stupid one like that.
Is
See how it
he?
goes.
In the Twilight Zone.
Start off with.
Scooter.
Is he, okay. Now, since we met last time, since Andrew was here, last time Andrew Duhon was here, who's our happy hour troubadour, he wandered in and his guitar got broken by, was it Southwest Airlines?
Yeah, you got it.
Busted, and now I see it's still taped up, and now it has someone signed it or something.
You're right. I was at a songwriter festival in on the Redneck Riviera. You know where that is?
Down in Destin.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down by
So,
where Craig's from.
What it
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 years into like going to this festival, and just like a whole bunch of old people go to this. I'm sorry, older songwriters, and
Quite sure what you're getting at. We're looking at
from
Peggy when
Nashville.
you
And it
said
just
that.
turns out it turns into this like reunion of old timers. And I thought it wasn't really for me at first, and then I realized if you just find the oldest sect of songwriters that hang out with each other, and you follow them till about 3 a.m., and you go hang out with them, and they start passing around the guitar, you know, that's
And the
when the good
drugs.
stuff. And the drugs.
And the smoked
Well,
cheese.
yeah.
Smoked
and the smoked Gouda. That's when it gets good. So yeah, I met this guy, Bob Tobin, who I'm telling you, I've never heard a guy sing this way, but I've heard it on recordings like Sun House. Like the way that you can hear his soul bubbling up when he sings.
Wow.
This guy had that going on.
So you let him write on your guitar.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. And does it come off? Could
He
I-
let me write on his, too. We were both the first
Drunk.
people who... No. Actually, we were not that drunk. This was the next day.
Wow.
So he comes up to me and he's like, man, I heard your tune and I wanted to ask you to write on my, sign my guitar. And
Okay,
I said,
so tell
I was
me-
going to ask you to do that, too.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
that's what happened.
what does it make you feel when someone that great tells you you're great?
It's pretty cool.
That must be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are going to be in for a treat too, because you've never heard Andrew play either, Peggy or Craig,
I
right?
feel like this is a pretty simple, straightforward song that percussion and any hoops and hollers that may ensue
Okay.
might be kind of cool.
Is this a new song that you've been working on?
No, it is a new song, but I put it on the record, so it's about a month old,
Okay. Wow, that's pretty new, I would say.
and it's
What's it called?
it's called "Feeling Low Down,"
Okay.
and
It's about love.
yeah. No, I mean I tend to write a lot
That's
of
a tough
earnest,
audience,
yeah.
yeah.
Tend to write a lot of earnest, heartfelt stuff, but this one is not one of them. This is like about someone else's heartbreak, which when you write it from the third person, the heartbreak doesn't seem nearly as bad.
Seems stupid. Even.
Yeah, stupid. So this song's stupid. this is a stupid song.
Go buy a BB King record and shut the hell up.
That's right. So it goes like this: 1, 2, I'm laughing at your blues, yeah. Yeah, well, that heartache and pain ain't it a slippery slope? I caught you flashing in a newsstand at the end of your road, feeling low down. Babe, well, I can't complain. You got your cup half empty and you waiting on a hurricane. Yeah. Turns out that love that he sold you, it was one big lie that could never fit between his hello and his goodbye. Left you low down. Sometimes it happens that way, yeah. You got your cup half empty and you waiting on a hurricane. Yeah, sometimes we all get low down, feeling bad and broke down, and Lord, it's a low down shame. Yeah. And the road just start to go down, leaves you feeling low down, turn around, go back the other way. Me, I heard from Bobby, Bobby heard from Sue, and Sue, she heard from Sarah, said she heard it from you, you was low down. Well, me, well, I can't complain. I just write a new sad song every time it rains. Something for the pain. You got your cup half empty and you waiting on a hurricane. Yeah. Oh, I heard you was low down, and that's a low down shame. Yeah. You got your heart on your sleeve, well, honey, put that thing away low.
Yes. That's our happy hour troubadour.
I hear
Andrew
Jesse
Duhon.
Winchester.
Don't know him.
Are you kidding?
You hear Andrew Duhon, actually.
Andrew Duhon has been. This is the greatest show I think we've
I
ever
knew
done
the
from
other
music
three
here.
guys that you said for them. I knew those guys.
Jesse Winchester. Go get some Jesse Winchester, and you will find yourself in what he's doing.
You'll discover you're a copycat.
Yeah, he's an old dude now, but
Yeah.
Older.
Maybe you hung
Yeah.
out with
What
him.
was the name of the song again?
That one's called "Feeling Low Down."
Love it. Love
Thanks.
it.
And it's
That's
off
excellent.
Andrew's yet
Excellent.
to be named album, which is coming out at the beginning of next
You
year.
know, I think
Do
I'm
you have
going to
a
come
name?
up with it today.
Dot,
Today's
dot,
the
dot.
day.
Exclusive.
Do you want to try it out on us?
Exclusive.
No way, you guys can't. Yeah. I think I'm going to call it Moorings.
Okay.
How do you spell that?
Right, Graham, our
It's
producer.
kind of like a title track thing, but the song is called The Moorings. But just like I think the song is called. The album is called Moorings.
Then you have a titular track, which I always love.
Yeah.
Just saying, titular
Yeah.
track. Yeah.
Titular track. That's a nice. So that song is
that
very
a-
beautiful.
I think. Never mind. New. It's called Titular.
Yes, sir.
that song is about slipping your moorings, about drifting away.
Yeah.
The
I
song
love
that-
you. But you've loved me well, but I'm leaving.
Right.
Sort of.
That's a very beautiful
gee,
song.
how familiar.
There you go. You've
Been there,
Craig.
huh?
You've lived there.
I have been
Craig,
there.
Craig, you must really.
I got a
hate-
song I think you might want to listen to 600 million times on Spotify.
and you make $8 out of it if
Well,
things work
600.
out right.
That's at least $100.
So, Craig, you must really hate journalism if
No, I do not.
you're a chef at Rouse's.
Well, yeah, I'm a
All
chef
chefs
at
at
Rouse's.
Rouse's hate
For-
journalism.
You could be sitting at
For
home.
now.
You could be sitting around, drinking whiskey, writing journalism or whatever,
And I'd be
shooting it
starving.
out. You'd be starving?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that you were a successful journalist.
Sell your
I
boat.
was. I was.
You were, right.
But it's not anything I could do now.
Why?
It's the climb is too steep and too fast. I'm 58 years old.
He's
But
too
you've
old.
been a success story.
I thought you were
I
72.
have, but
so why wouldn't don't people know who you are in the business
Oh,
and you're the
yeah.
guy who
They
worked
do.
at AP for 30 years? Why wouldn't you
they
want to
do.
go back
But
to
that was 8 years ago, and 8 years ago is
Well, then
forever
you-
in this business.
Well, in what sense? The news doesn't seem
He's
to have changed.
recreating himself, Grant, as a cheese man.
The cheese,
Thank
okay?
you
He's
very
got
much.
the cheese.
I
Yeah.
recreated
Okay.
myself.
He's got
as a
the
God
cheese.
of the cheese.
Yeah, but
person.
do you
You
like
have-
do you like cooking at Rouse's?
It does for now.
But is it nice?
It
Is it a
pays some
good job? Is
bills.
it fun?
It's fun.
It is.
Yeah.
Are there attractive
Yeah.
women there?
A few, yes.
Are you still
there it is.
single now? Are you?
No, I have
You're
remarried
Kim.
Multiple times.
6 years ago, 7 years ago.
So how long were you single for in between?
I was never really single.
Wow.
How'd
That's
you-
why you left.
how'd you pull that off?
Oh, you son of a bitch. Wow. That's why you left, isn't it?
I'm 58 years old now, and I haven't really
And a
been
stripper.
single since I was 24.
How that's not what is that? 68?
I dated a girl like
66 years. In what sense? You're a
She
baseball
sucks.
cat. What do you mean?
The ponytail.
So you met someone else while you were still married, and that's
Yes.
why you left.
I'm a low down, dirty SOB.
We
I
thought it was
guarantee you.
cheese, and it turned out to be another
Turned up
woman.
another woman.
Well, that
Right.
was part of it, yes.
Once a cheeser, always a cheeser.
Right? You
You
can't.
haven't heard that one. Tell me you haven't heard that one.
I am one of them low down bastards that nobody can
Do you
touch.
have one of those cheese hats that people wear up in?
No, I do not.
Bay?
in
I do
Minnesota?
not. And I
Yeah.
will never have one of them.
Any
sons of
self-
bitches.
You could have a little
Self-respecting
sign on it,
cheesemaker
like
does not have a
smoked
cheese hat.
cheese with the little-
No.
Once a cheeser, always a cheeser. I think that's the best line of the day, Andrew, so far. Oh, Leo, that was yours? Very good.
Sorry.
Very good.
That's
Well,
why you're a songwriter.
What about
That's
mine?
funny.
What about cheeses?
Cheeses was good
It's like
too.
you
but this,
forgot
but
about
that's-
Cheez-Its.
No, but that's,
How can you forget
It's
about
like you don't
Cheez-Its?
even remember.
Everything
I
we've
feel like
been
you-
through.
These guys are from New Zealand. They don't know.
After
So, do you love working at Rouse's?
Yeah,
Is what you're saying?
well-
It's great.
It'll do for now.
Are you the guy who makes the food in that little restaurant there uptown on Chapatula Street, in that new little
I
restaurant?
had been at Champatulas. I'm up on Carrollton now.
Yeah.
And it's been rebuilt
grand
the
fun.
same way that they have it down on Barone, downtown.
Do they have a little restaurant
like that.
thing in
Yeah,
there?
no.
So you're cooking
no.
the stuff. So when I go in there and I'm looking at the stuff in the
When you go to a
things
chef
that are
case
hot.
with all the fancy looking
the
food,
deli.
I'm one of the
area.
guys who does all the fancy looking food.
So they keep you in
in
the back.
chef case.
So what's your favorite thing? In the fancy food.
macaroni,
You can get in the book.
It would be
Cheese
probably
fingers. Chicken
the
fingers. smoked turkey.
probably. Funny you say that. It's the turkey.
Finally, somebody said something funny on this show.
the turkey roulade.
Turkey roulade.
Spinach and
Yeah,
mushrooms.
you
Okay.
butterfly a turkey breast and then you roll cranberries and dressing in it. So
You're
when
turning
it,
me on.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
So-
good. You know, Trader Joe's used to have something like that.
Trader Joe, I need to ask you this: How do you like living in Southern
I
California?
love Trader Joe's. I
My
love
wife
Southern
is from Southern California.
Your current wife.
Yes.
Okay.
She's from Southern California. She's from Escondido.
Okay.
And I would love to go back there, or part of me would love to go over there.
So could you give me a ride?
I'll let you know when I go. But I would love to go to that part of the world and see food the same way we see food in New Orleans.
You don't see food there. Let me tell you. Somebody just asked me on another show, what's your favorite restaurant in L.A.? And I looked at him. I said, my favorite little divey Mexican restaurant, my favorite little diner on the corner. There's not like, we're going out to dinner. Let's go to Commander's. Let's go to Emerald's. You don't. Let's go to Matt Murphy's to sit at his bar and have his great potato soup at Irish House. You don't have that like instant, reaction. You just say, what do you want to? I don't know. There's some really good restaurants out there, but they're expensive, and you just don't get the quality and the service. I probably shouldn't be saying this since I live out there, but there's not something that I'm jonesing for.
It's not a day-to-day thing the way it is here.
When I'm back in L.A., my husband and I just eat in a lot because I'm going to come here and eat for 3 months.
There's no decent restaurants out there. Is what you're saying?
They're okay, but they're not
It's not
something
like
that
New
you
Orleans.
like. I mean, here you have so many choices. Like last night, I was at Three Muses listening to Davis Rogan and his band, and the small plates at that restaurant. I was like, this is amazing and reasonable and delicious. And
It's very
every
hard to
time
go
you
out in New
go
Orleans and
somewhere,
not have a
it's
good meal.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's delicious, and you're like, oh my god, I just had the best meal. You don't have that in LA. You really don't have that.
Too many skinny people.
Yeah, they don't eat.
I see
it's all about-
opportunity.
So, Craig, do you think you could go out there and open a restaurant? Is that what you're saying?
I have
cheese?
no clue.
What do you-
no clue.
what do
I
you-
don't know
some
it well
bitches?
enough.
What's your plan next to do here after you get out of Rouse's?
We have a friend who is looking for another location here in town, and he wants us to run his kitchen. The issue is, where will the location be?
Let me ask you another question. Do you have bifocals that go like longitudinally or something?
I broke these glasses
broken.
about a year ago, and I haven't had insurance to replace them.
How can
And
you look through
Rouse's
that?
doesn't pay that well.
I don't see it this up close
Sell
to my
your
eye.
boat.
Wow. It's a strange looking thing.
Again,
If you're looking at your
sell
glasses,
boat.
you can see
yeah.
there's got a crack right down
Sure
the middle.
enough.
Yes, I have a vertical
like
crack down my
bifocals the
right
wrong
lens.
way.
Yeah.
Folks, if you can
I
imagine
do
this,
have
he's
a-
got a crack on the.
I do have a vertical crack.
Okay, things are picking up. So you're going to run someone else's kitchen if the location's right,
Yes.
meaning if there's parking or something.
We have a menu that has done very well. It's been reviewed well in the Gambit and in a few other places.
Okay.
And we would like to do that again and expand on it, but it's just a question of finding the right opportunity.
So that's the food that you sold at Janita's when you were
Janita's,
That was like what sort of food? How do you describe it?
upscale bar food, very upscale bar food. We do a lot of duck. We do a lot of lamb.
I like upscale bar food. It takes what you're comfortable with and makes it actually very, very good.
We had run the kitchen at the Avenue Pub for a couple of years, and then
They
we
have
moved.
delicious curly fries.
Well,
Upscale.
we were.
Upscale curly fries. I'm sorry.
You can charge people out the rear end.
Yin yang.
Can you?
For
If they've
bar
had
food?
if they've had a
Like the
couple of
vertical
Yes.
crack, if you will.
Bar food, if it's good enough and if it matches the quality of any decent restaurant in town.
Let's take a quick listen to one of the songs off Courage, because I did promise everybody we would hear something.
Yes, please.
And then we have to really get out of here in a moment. So, which song would you think typifies the album, like says something about the album?
I would say definitely the opening track, Madeline Kahn. It's got the most sort of one of the more stronger on the spaghetti western style, and we opened the record with it for a reason. So,
Chris, we got that ready to go?
Took away all the home that we made, that our parents bought and paid for with the money away what the wedding brought to be. This number wasn't meant to ride, remember from the outside. Oh, hide your little eyes, sit and watch it die. Round and round we go. With all the children inside, so many children inside. Whoa, 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 whoa. Took away what the wedding brought. The fire took away what the wedding brought. The fire took away what the wedding brought. The fire took away my happy home. With all the children inside, so many children inside. It burns. With all the children inside, with every one of us inside. Please don't play parade. Please don't play Please don't play
I think so.
Madeline Kahn. Off the album Courage.
Yes.
The band is Vox and the Hound, VOX, and the Hound
Yes.
from New Orleans.
Not New Zealand.
And not New Zealand. The record's out now. Wherever you're listening to this, whatever day you're listening to this, the record is available. And click on the link on our site and see if the band is coming to a site near you.
I've got to say that I'm
Craig, what
honored
would
to
you-
be here. Y'all have a lot of talent here. You really do.
You're
That
absolutely
was a
right
great
about
track.
that.
Really dug that, guys.
That was really great. Thank you so much for
Jeez.
joining us, you guys. The album is fantastic. It really
Thank
is.
you so much, Grant.
It hasn't been a waste of time at all, like you were thinking.
No, like our parents were thinking.
Like your parents were thinking. No, it really is awesome. Congratulations on a really, really great record.
Thank you so much.
We wish you all the best for it, and we hope to see you back here again soon.
Absolutely.
Have
Yes.
fun.
Always a
House
pleasure.
Live.
Leo DeJesus and Andrew Jarman joined us today on Happy Hour from Vox and the Hound. Peggy Sweeney McDonald, the author of Meanwhile Back at Cafe Du Monde.
Dot.
Don't
Your coffee
forget
table
it.
book. Great Christmas gift for foodie people.
It is, and it's available everywhere books are sold
Yeah,
on
Christmas is
Amazon.com.
coming up.
Barnes and Noble, and
Barnes and
also
Noble.
all the local, Garden District, Octavia,
Right.
Maple Street.
And if you listen to this outside New Orleans, you can get it on the usual internet spots.
Yeah,
You
go
get-
on Amazon or go
You get
on
more
Barnes
than
and Noble.
0.01 cent for that, I assume.
And you
Craig.
can also check out the Meanwhile Back
6
at
million
CafeDumont.com
.com.
website.
Meanwhile, back at CafeDumont.com. We have a link to that on our site
And
as well.
my tweet is tweet.
What is it?
It's at Back Cafe Du Monde.
At Back Cafe Du Monde. Got it. Okay. Craig Geiseke, did I get it right?
Giesecke.
Oh, shit.
Come on, Grant.
Oh, so close
God
that time,
damn it,
too.
Grant.
Craig
Fuck.
Geiseke, thank you
Just
so
Craig.
much for joining us. Just
Just
Craig.
Just
Right.
Craig.
Okay.
Just Craig.
Thank you for joining us, Craig. I
Thank
look
you
forward
very
to
much
seeing
for
where
having
you go next after Ross's. And do you
I
still
hope
still
it
have?
happens soon.
So do I. Well, we'll mention it here for sure. Do you still have the boat?
No, I do
okay.
not.
Because he
That's
sold
it.
it.
Thank you for taking my advice and selling your boat.
I sold it because I needed the money.
Exactly.
And our happy hour troubadour, Andrew Duhon. Thank you so much for coming back.
Good to be back.
See us.
I'll be back next time.
Okay, come on back anytime. And we've heard the name of the new album.
Perhaps.
That's exciting. We'll see.
Titular.
We'll see
Titular,
we'll see if it holds up. Our show is produced today by Melinda Hawes, Graham DePonte, Trish Kaufman, and Danush Karoon with assist. Oh no, we didn't have any assistance from anyone today. That was from last week. Our associate producer and technical director is Chris Kehoe. Christian Unruh is our music director. Our link to the real world and web designer is Dr. Cliff Brigden. Mitch Foreman is currently playing the song that he wrote. We call it our theme. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for approximately an hour, drop us a line. Our address is on our website. Our show is recorded live at the fabulous Columns Hotel, a great place to come and have a drink or stay if you're coming to New Orleans. On our website, it's neworleans.com. You can check out our other shows, including Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti live from Commander's Palace, Mindset with psychiatrist Dr. Nick Pajic, True to the Game with Chris True and Tammy Nelson, and Win-Win, our show about the New Orleans Vietnamese community. Please keep up with us, would you? By liking It's New Orleans on Facebook, you can follow us on Twitter, and you can sign up for our mailing list at our website, itsneworleans.com. If you happen to be listening to this on iTunes, thanks for subscribing, and take a minute to rate and review us. It'll help other people find us. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Mitch Foreman on piano, and everyone sitting around the table here and back at our office, I'm Grant Morris. Thank you for joining us on Happy Hour. We'll see you next time.